So I'm just trying to pull this up on my iPad as well, so that I can see the comments. Because of course, once I move this from there to the comments, it's going to be a little bit problematic. But it's not playing well. Just give me a second. So today, what I want to look at is I really want to look at some of the Coliro PearlColors. It's a really amazing set of colors that Coliro have produced, and I know a lot of you use these colors. So I thought it would be good. There we go, brilliant. Yay, finally. I thought it would be good to look at some of the colors. Now, one of the problems with the colors is the tendency to mess them up. And you know how much I love mess on my pads, on my inks, on my nibs, on blending colors. It just drives me crazy. So what I've done is I've just saturated some of the colors, and I'm going to start with the one color that most people tend to use. So let's swap the phone around. Okay. So I'm going to start with the gold, because the gold is, it is the sort of main color that so many people use. Okay, maybe what I'll do is I'll actually show you a little bit. So I've saturated this so you can see it saturated there. And let's take the mixing brush. So that for me is already really thick. So I've just left the water on it. I've not mixed it. So I'm just going to press on the side there. So already that's too thick to write with. So I'm going to drop some water into this. And I prefer to use syringes for this kind of work because it's a lot more detailed. So you can see that that's a lot thinner, and you can see how the tension on the surface is breaking much more easily. Now, I'm just going to push that around a little bit more so you can see. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at how the liquid is flowing. Because it's not in a jar, it's a little bit more difficult to control how the liquid's flowing. So the other thing that I do is I'm definitely going to need the lift for this. So I want to work a little bit higher up. So there's a little bit lower down. So there's a little bit of lift or bounce on the page. Now what I tend to do is I hold the brush in this hand like so. Let me zoom out. I hold the brush in this hand like so. And as I'm writing, I wipe and I'm holding the sheet down. The only problem with this is if you're a little bit clumsy, you're asking for trouble because it's very easy to drop onto the surface that you're working on. So just be a little bit conscious about that. Now, I also wipe the underside of the brush. So this is a brand new nib as well. I've already prepared it. And to get it started, I wipe some on the top side as well. So let's get a little bit of, so I'm just going to test in the top corner there. So it's just starting to flow now. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that liquid and I'm going to drop it on the underside here. Now, do you see how that's pooling at the front there? So I'm just going to let that drop back into the brush. And of course, you know, I'm being really conscious of getting that line as fine as I can get it, because it's one of the things I really enjoy about writing, producing really fine line work. And you can really see how delicate that is. Let me just bring this up to you. Now, the thing that I learned about these Coliro PearlColors is that when you're writing, if you're writing really, really delicate hairlines, you don't necessarily see what you're writing. You just have to trust that it's happening. So now that you can really sort of look at the shapes, you really start to see these little gossamer sort of tendrils of delicacy, which are very much like, you know, spiders' silk. I'm just getting a napkin to wipe this. So one of the things I do when I'm wiping them off is I put the nib here and I would fold the paper down into the middle and I would push my thumb into that and pull. I'm not pressing. I just want to keep it clean. So let's zoom out a little bit and let's go to some of the other colors. So I've already put some water on some of the colors to saturate a little bit, and they've already sunk in to the color. So let me just mix some of this up. Now, it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to do this because I'm trying to not get too much color mixed up and in the brush, in the nib. So this is a silver. So this is from one of their first sets. It's more like a really pale platinum. Sorry, I've been off the camera there. I think I might need to zoom out because I can't really see both of this. Let me just redo this. Right, where's the... Maybe my maybe my practice or my daily practice that I've been showing some of my 18th, 16th, 17th, and 18th century letter forms. Maybe I'll swap to the black pad and these Coliro PearlColors because they are just so beautiful on the black paper. I have a little bit of the gray paper to hand, so let's see what this looks like on here as well. And let's also test how it flows out of the nib. Absolutely wonderful. So testing it and not pressing at all is equally important because, you know, you want to be able to write. You want to be able to write on the surface without pressing. So you could just about see how fine that is. I mean, if I was doing some really small writing, so this is some really, really tiny Spencerian script. So that's just about a millimeter in height, and you can really see the cut. It really does stand out. So let's have a look at this beautiful sort of platinum color again on the black, and So again, that's just about 1 millimeter. And you know, the only reason I'm pushing the script at this size to show you is that the color is flowing so beautifully out of the nib. And you know, the only way that would happen is if you have had the color ground really finely. So this is really excellent, so that you can really see how fine the guys at Coliro grind their paints or inks, if you want to call them inks. Let's move to some of the other colors. Right, where are we at? So we've done the gold. I'd like to try this copper. There's a beautiful, beautiful copper. Actually, maybe what we'll try is let's try this silver gray first. So the silver gray is really this beautiful kind of pewtery gray, and I can almost hear people going, "Oh, I have that color. I have that color." So let's try it on the gray pad first. It's almost as though it's being embossed. So that's the silver gray there. And that's just starting to dry off. Really, really beautiful. And let's see what it looks like on the black. It's so fine. I mean, it is so sort of gossamer and spider's silk-like. This is a really lovely sort of 17th century S that I've found recently. Whoa. Wow, 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 wow. That is so super fine. That's going to dry really beautifully. Really impressed. I'm so excited about these colors. I've been wanting to do this live, looking at the Coliro colors and how they work on the pads for ages, and just not finding the time to do it. So I'm really glad I could set the time aside to do this, to look into this. So the next color that I want to look at is, did I dampen that? No. Let's look at this. This is absolutely stunning lavender. Now, the only problem with these colors is you have to be really conscious of how you're mixing them. Because chances are you're sort of mixing them on the fly. So understanding what the kind of consistency is, absolutely lovely. So that's the lavender on the black. Let's get a little bit more of it and test it on the gray. I mean, it's probably going to look so delicious on the gray. Let me bring this up for you to see it. Actually, I'll set it aside because once it starts to dry, it does look a lot more beautiful. So you're seeing that starting to dry a little bit more as well. Look at it on the black. So the black's starting to settle down. And there's that beautiful sort of iridescent lavender. Really, really quite special. Of course, you know, the most amazing thing to test if you're going to do this kind of line work is to test it with a little flourished quill. That's a little bit sloppy, sorry about that. So you're really starting to see how, and if we look at the whole page, right, look at all the lines. Now that they're drying, they're really starting to come up. But look at that lovely, lovely sort of delicate feathering on the quill. Oh, yes, Sarah, the lavender is really quite amazing. Right, so let's see. You know, I'm so excited. I don't know which color to choose next because there's so many of them, right? And the thing about the guys at Coliro is they are so genuine and lovely and friendly and helpful. And if you have a question, you can very, very quickly hop onto a call with them. So I'm just checking to see which ones I've sort of saturated a little bit. You know, I'm so excited to show you this. You know, I would just love to sort of saturate all of them and show all of these colors to you because they are really quite amazing. So I'm going to use the copper because I absolutely love copper. I think it's such an underrated color or metal. Look at the hairline on that already. So I'm going to do some of the 17th century letter forms because I'm really loving them. Wow, the copper is beautiful. It really is like spider silk. It's so beautiful, and of course the copper is going to dry really quite amazingly. Oh, Cherry, I'm so glad that you like the copper. I'm sort of freaking out here a little bit because I just want to show you guys all of the colors. You definitely get these in Germany. Karima, you definitely get these in Germany because Coliro based in Germany. So wow, look at the love. Look at the lavender that's come up on the gray. Oh, that is just too much. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out here. Let's do some little line work. So because I'm not pressing, there we go. One of the things that I use a lot of when I'm doing some decorative work is, let's write this letter first. Wow, look at that on the grey. That is exquisite. And then I would probably go in and do some little acanthus leaf flourishing. I'll flip that over, add some little dollops where the acanthus leaves overlap. Maybe I should just zoom in so that you could see this better. And then, once I've done that, say I'm writing a B. I would then go in and I would do some really delicate hatching. So I would hatch and I'd rotate it a little bit more and rotate it and rotate it. This reminds me so much of when I was learning to engrave in copper. Because when you're doing copper plate engraving, you have to be able to do these really, really delicate lines. So one of the other things that I would do, I am absolutely loving this. I mean, the guys at Coliro, I've been in touch with them. You know, I've called them and I've had email exchanges with them about the color and how it's working but this is, seeing it on my own paper is a very different matter. So let's get that in the right place. So one of the things that you could use it for, I have to use these colors with Arabic calligraphy. Yes, these would be great with Arabic. Who else is here? Michiko, hello. The lavender on the grey, yes. I mean, Giovanni, the lavender on the grey is really quite special. So this is one of the things that I do. So I don't know how many of you have been following the posts that I've been doing looking at the 17th, 18th, and 19th century letter forms. No, this is a 122B nib. So one of the things that I would look at, Michiko, what you might want to do is you might want to contact the guys at Coliro and ask them, because they would have tons of spec on this color, is you need to, getting back to this, so a lot of these 17th century letter forms require you to write lighter than the nib will allow you to write when you're just sort of pressing. So it sort of makes you a little bit more, hi Jan, oh sorry Janet. So the nib makes, let's get this color back up here. So it makes you want to press harder. So when you're writing, you might write, let's say I'm writing hello. It's a brand new nib, so it's really quite fine. When you're working with these 17th century letter forms, you're sort of working a little bit lighter. So I'm sort of talking about this because, you know, I do actually have a reason for waffling on about this. So one of the things that I've been working with is to do you have a nice little tendril flower. I'm looking at the screen on my iPad and I can barely see what I'm writing. So I'm then going to, let's see, where is that? I'm going to add some acanthus leaves. And I'm going to hatch the area in. just remember, you know, if the color isn't ground finely enough, you would never be able to do this. So what I'm trying to show you is I'm trying to show you how finely ground this pigment is. Wow, it really reminds me of engraving in copper using this copper. I mean, the guys at Coliro deserve a medal for this. I mean, this is... And let's just add some little dollops for where the leaves overlap each other. Oh. It feels like I'm making jewelry. And let me just finish this off. So it's not just some random shape on the I can't even see it on the camera. I'm so sorry, guys. Need a little bit more pigment. So there is, oh my gosh, there you go. So you can see that hatching, and you can see how fine the hairlines are. No, look at this, right? Look at how fine the hairline is compared to the printed line. Now, look at these, because these are even finer than this. So you're really getting a chance to see how what you can do with these Coliro PearlColors. They are really quite exquisite. Now, let's see if I have it. I'm so excited about the copper. I just sort of feel like I just want to stay on the copper for the rest of the live. But I have actually mixed up a couple other colors. Let me just look to see which ones I've mixed up. Right. Actually, I don't think I've mixed up that many more. Passing out over the gorgeousness. Definitely. And look, this is starting to dry. So as it's drying, it's really starting to stabilize and settle in. This copper is like a... I'm really struggling to describe it, because this is the copper in the pan. So it's really coppery, but as it's drying, it's sort of like a kind of pink champagne colored kind of copper. Oh, you could just start to see those hairlines coming up in the hatching, and then you could see those in there. So. Let's see, where's the black pad? Let me just move. I put all of these out to start playing with them. And then I sort of thought, maybe not. I don't think I could get through all of those in an hour. So there's the copper again on the black. And again, it's not like a copper. It's more like a pink champagne colored copper. Now, of course, there are coppers, so this copper looks like it's obviously darker. I'm holding on to my desk for dear life. Oh, that's so funny. There's so many of these colors to choose from, and you know, it really is quite special. I keep going back to this, and I'm just stunned that, okay, fine, you know, I'm going on and on and on about the copper, but look at that silver gray. The lavender on the gray pad is so beautiful. And this this sort of milky moon, sort of full moon silver, full moon creamy silver, and there's that lavender again on the black. But it's the ability to write this small and this accurately and not have the line break up. And in no instance when the writing's happening can you see the line breaking. So really, really quite impressive. Oh, let's get that back in there. Have I got locks on my doors? You need a code to get in at the door downstairs, and then you need another code to get in to my section, and then you need two keys to get into the studio. Wow. Right. Just a little bit stunned here, so give me a second. Wow. My goodness, I didn't sort of anticipate. You know, when Rodia asked me to sort of come up with the pads, you know, they when they asked me what I wanted, and I said, oh, I want this and I want this and I want this. I took home a lot of papers from Rodia and Clairefontaine to test to see which ones would work really well, and I obviously tested them with one of the sets of the Coliro set, which is the first basic set, which is the gold, that very, very sort of beautiful creamy silver, the copper I've just shown you, and so I tested the papers with that. I didn't test them with the new colors because I was still waiting for the paper to come out, and you know, Coliro is so prolific in the way that they create color and the way they grind their mica. It really is quite special, and of course they bring out new metals all the time, and I've just been waiting to test this with some of the newer colors. I'm absolutely blown out of the water. Now, how much time do we have? We have a little bit more time. There is a color here called Supernova. Oh, exciting. So let me just get the Supernova a little bit saturated. I feel like a child. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, this is insane. I mean, the colors are just, I mean, I've used these colors for a long time. Don't get me wrong, you know. So I know that they're wonderful. I just did not anticipate you know, going a little bit crazy. So let's, oh, so maybe I should swap the camera around first. Okay, so let's put this back in here. I do need to get off because I actually have some stuff to do today. Right, so the Supernova is saturated. Wow, that is going to be one hot color on the pad. So let's look at the Supernova on the gray first. I'm flourishing, right? But I'm sort of trusting myself that I know what I'm doing because I can see that the line isn't breaking up. You can barely see that. Let's leave that to dry. Let's look at it on the black. So that's it on the black. Oh, that is one sexy color. That is really hot. So let's let that dry for a second, because we've sort of so there it is on the gray. It's a really beautiful, beautiful pink. And as it dries, it's sort of, wow, it's really hard to describe these colors because they keep changing. I think, you really want to sort of look at them when they're really dry. Now, there is one other thing I'd love to try to do with this. Let me see if I can. I didn't intend to do this. Let's see if this will work. So this is an agate burnisher. Bloody hell. So what I'm doing is I'm burnishing the color, the metal. Right, and let's look at the difference between this, which is unburnished, and that. So that is bright. I mean, really, really bright. So if we get close enough, you can just see the reflection of the burnisher in the... You could just see the burnisher reflected in the burnished area. Oh my gosh, this is... Okay, I'm going to go because I need to spend some time playing with this. Sorry, guys. You can wait. You can burnish them. Well, I was playing with this, and I thought, one of the things that I do as well, let's see if we could get you a little bit closer to that. So compare them. So you can see that really textured sort of gold, but you can see that's really sort of solidified the color. Look at all of you. Look at everybody freaking out. That's great. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's just brilliant. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Now I just feel like I want to burnish everything that I've just done. I would really love to see this lavender burnished a little bit. I really should be thinking about getting off as well, because I don't really want to go over an hour. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. So the burnishing the leaf, I've just burnished the feather. Burnishing the feather makes it, because there are these really thin gossamer lines. Oh, the supernovas come up. Oh my gosh, look at it on the black. It's great. It's absolutely stunning on the gray as well. Oh, the hairlines are just unreal. So, everything. Absolutely everything. All of their colors work really well. They're ground so finely that you can... I mean, I'm obviously I would use them with quills and with broad edge nibs and brushes as well. But the reason I tend to do copperplate script and Spencerian script is because it's really showing you what the colors, what the materials are capable of on the pads. Because I know that the pads work. And those of you who have them, you know that they work. I see so many of you posting. Thank you so much. Just post more, tag me. I'd love to see what you're up to with the pads. But I know they work. And I'm trying to show you that when I'm writing as lightly as I write, that the colors and the materials really flow through the tool. So for those of you, and I know lots of you say to me, you can't write as lightly as I write, you struggle getting really delicate hairlines. I'll do a post on that later on. If I can get such fine hairlines with these on my pads, then you can definitely get them as well. So, so excited. Right, let me just show you those two colors really quickly. I'm just being really careful to not drop that burnisher, because today is sort of a clumsy day. So there's the feather burnished a little bit. So you can compare the two. So look at the R next to it, and you can see that it's really sort of speckly. And then that's the Supernova. Supernova, wow. Ooh, Dean! I hope you're feeling better, Dean. So that's the Supernova, and then that's the Supernova on the grey. So it's so delicate. It's so light. It's. I mean, you would really think that you've fed a spider some raspberries and let it spin some webs, a web after that. Really, really wonderful. Absolutely loved it. Fantastic. I loved the burnishing. I absolutely love the burnishing. Let me just give you that as a last shot. So, thank you so much for joining me. Sorry I sort of went a little bit crazy. Really, really wonderful. And I will see you guys soon. So don't forget to, I'd really love to hear from you as well. When you're looking at the videos on the 17th, 18th and 19th century script, I'd love to hear some comments about what you're thinking about them and if you've tried them out and how they're working for you. Pick a couple letters, try them out, tag me, let me see what you're up to. And I will see you guys soon. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.